live with me, SimplyLesa. Yes, this is crooked. If I make it straight, which I would like to, I have trouble with keeping, my hand's going to be in front of you for a minute. I just was adjusting this and I was trying to figure out how can I keep the cable plugged in while we're on the live without breaking my cable. There we go. Maybe that'll be okay-ish. You know how little phone plugs are. So I'm trying to come on, everybody. Changes. Changes. The change. I can't remember all the real lyrics to that song, but they change things in strange places. It's a thing. Oh, how's everybody doing this morning? I am still getting reorganized here at the cabin, which is why I just put my head out of the screen. This is a live feed, guys. I do raw video anyway most of the time because I never wanted to be a videographer or a photographer. I was a visual artist when I was young. Not that I'm old. Anyway. So good morning. And I hope everybody's doing well. Let me check and see who's here. Catherine, welcome. How's Snowflake right now? You probably are done with snow in Snowflake. I'm checking the stove. I can pan for y'all a little bit. I have you on the big thing today, the big tripod. I'm more organized today than I have been, okay? I'm starting to move the things over in the kitchen things over in the corner where when I designed the cabin, they were supposed to be to start with. And so you see the fans just slowing down. The thermometer clock on the wall up there somewhere. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it says it's 78 in here. It did finally get warm this morning. It was chilly last night, chilly, there's still snow on my ground, but I'm higher than most of the people around me. Let's see. So good morning, Catherine. I hope everybody's doing well in your family. Hi, Iris. I keep seeing Iris is doing her own videos, but I have not had a chance to go watch. So I don't know. We'll see how that is. Good morning, pardon me, Sonia. And Sonia 60 and learning, is that what it says? Yeah, I think that's what it says. Okay, I don't have glasses close by, but that's all right, I can read. Jeremy, good morning. Welcome. Let's see. I have not started the car this morning, Jeremy, but I still expect that it's running fine once we found a short in the radio. Jeremy is one of the mechanics from Stan's auto shop, and Stan's Diesel is the sister company in the same location. It's father and son run two different businesses out of the same building. And that's in St. John's, Arizona. So a little plug for them. Iris. And Donna Raxter, good morning. So I hope we can do something constructive today. And yet, changes just keep happening. I am basically staying near the cabin this winter. Part of the reasoning for me staying closer to the cabin is financial. I don't mind 4 seasons when I'm prepared for it. Honestly, I own 2 long sleeve shirts. I need to work on that. I think I have put some things out on my Amazon wish list. for y'all to, if you're in a given mood over the holidays, where I don't keep Christmas, some of you do. I also am not Jewish, and I don't keep Hanukkah either. I don't have any problem with any of those things, but just FYI, I don't. But often this time of year, people buy me things as a thank you for what I do all year long, and I appreciate it immensely. Um, One year, somebody bought me a hand grain grinder for small grains. It's something I had on a list. I still have that. That's here at the cabin. It's going to stay here. It's like a homesteading survival piece of equipment. Somebody else one year bought me um, a pack of the Yuko candles to go in my chandelier. Um, right quick, I don't remember the other things, but sometimes, I know, what was his name? He comes out here all the time. Can't think of his name. One year he bought me a little electrical um, surge protector thing that is in my electronics bag that I use when I need to be somewhere public and plugged in. And so I can plug in a bunch of stuff into it. And because it's a surge protector, it protects the stuff plugged in. And then it's plugged, I can use the one cord outside the backpack to plug into the wall wherever I am in like a coffee shop or something. Doesn't happen very much, but as I travel, and especially in foreign country travel, and where I don't have like Starlink or something traveling with me, it's helpful. So, so good morning, Donna, and yeah, the two Donnas. Um, Thank you all for coming in today. Let's do the quick housekeeping stuff of I have a couple of admins. I need to add a couple more. And one of the ones I want to add is Tiny GPS. I don't see them yet this morning. George and Tammy are like family, and they're busy down at Imperial Dam this year. So I don't know if they're going to get to come out this morning or not. I hear from them during the week often, just like I hear from many of you during the week, because a lot of you are personal friends. Um, so um, let's see. And I'm available as is possible. And so my email is out in the greater world. My public Google Voice phone number is out in the greater world. Those things can be found, and you can get a hold of me. I only give out my personal private phone number to actual personal friends, but that's a thing. You know how that is. I also try to protect my location, but doing live videos, that's a little challenging to do sometimes. I have done this since 2004. And because of that, I've had the experiences of people hunting me down and finding me in camp and stuff like that. So, you do what you got to do. And so good morning, Betty Joe. It's so good to see you. Hi, little bit. No, little girl. I'm saying the wrong name for her this morning. And yes, there's something behind me. You're going to get an introduction in a few minutes to what's right back there. Okay, so let's see. Housekeeping. Please, when you're asking me a question, I love to answer questions. It helps me focus on these live feeds because I come in with an idea often, depending on the stress or saga of the moment. I try to come in with an idea about what I want to talk about, but then at the same point, I know things can take a different direction. And if you all are in need, I want to be helping you and helping with the creative problem solving to try to help you guys, be a little more comfortable on the road. Like I've said many times, when I first came out, nobody was holding my hand, and it was hard. And it was really hard. Um, and so I gotcha. I got you back, even if it's just an online relationship where I can online give you hugs and hold your hand. You know, we have a Facebook group. Um, at the present moment, I'm only doing a weekly Wednesday update on that. I'm trying to figure out how to put these pieces of things together. I should have perhaps, well, should, looking back on things, don't should on yourself, some programs say. Um, I wish I had not put my name in the title of what I was doing, my actual first name, because though it defines who I am, it makes it so that you have to know me to hunt for me or something. It's a thing, anyways. And I should have started this out as a business, but I didn't know that. So I have to be careful because I am on SSDI, which is Social Security Permanent Disability. It will change from permanent disability to SSA, Social Security Old. It's not called old age, but Social Security old age insurance. It will change to that when I turn 67. The change happened. I thought it was going to happen when I turned 62, but that year they changed the birth dates. And so I have to wait till I'm 67. At that point, because the year I came in, the title I came in under, the work credits I had within the time limit frame, which I forgot the name of. I baby girl, there you go. Sorry, baby girl, hi girl. Look what happened back there. We get into that anyway. So they changed the birth date requirement. I missed it by 2 months, so rather than having it switch over to old age, which would allow me to earn all the money I want and I could actually have a business, it meant I had to wait till I'm 67, which happens next year. I'm 65 now. I know I'm an old woman now. Whatever, I ain't that old. You're as old as you feel, right? I still can dig a duck pond, can't I? If Mike was out here, I still do a lot. I do. I was diagnosed almost 2 years ago now with MS after years of odd allergies, food allergies, environmental allergies, multiple chemical sensitivities without any diagnosis, odd health issues, and being paralyzed 5 different times. Never in a wheelchair, but badly paralyzed, like with a walker paralyzed. And I just promised myself when it happened the first time, I ain't going out like this. And I am not living with a scooter chair. That I ain't going out that way. Mm-mm, and I'm going to be old. I'm sticking around way past plenty of people. I don't know. I've always known I was going to be a really old woman before I pass. And so in the back of my mind, the number 125 is there. Sometimes I think about that number and I go, why, God, that just seems like so freaking long. I'm only halfway there or something. But so that's that little stuff. Please, when you ask a question, put 3 uppercase Q's in front of your question so I'll notice it. Or if you would like to help further the work of the channel and whatever else we're doing and help me, continue, you may make a donation through super chats and super thanks. And of course, that highlights you really big and I get to see you differently. Some of you get a little thingy behind your name right now because you're a member of our YouTube membership program, which I can't remember, but I think that the lowest entry point is 99 cents. I am going to start having members only live chats. So if you would like to become a member, that's helpful. One of the things I need to purchase with donation money, somebody has already sent me the money, but under the circumstances over this past 6 months, over this past 6 months, while I was stranded in broken down, whatever, in Nevada. Did I say it right this time, all you Nevada people? Hi, B. Um, they sent me the money to buy a new microphone that has the little cat thing on it, the fur thing on it, so that when I'm in wind, you can hear me. And but I was in a need, and I texted them and said, I know that's what it's for, but I haven't done that. Can I use the money for this? And so I'm going to, yes, get a microphone that will work better in wind. I would like to, at some point, upgrade the phone. I haven't made up my mind whether I want to upgrade to an iPhone because of the easier video editing stuff. I just can't make up my mind. I've been Android for a while, but I used to tech both, so I'm not afraid of either one. What's the other one that I want to do is I would like to consider Starlink. I need, as a to-do thing, I need to get a hold of WeBoost. They encouraged me to get a hold of their tech support to see what's wrong with my newer WeBoost, because almost 8 months ago now, it just stopped working. And I thought it was because the signal strength changed in the world and something happened differently with Verizon, but it doesn't seem to be that. Um, yes, I think I'm seeing somebody said, thank you for explaining about the name. You're welcome. I'm going to tell you that with if you want to start a YouTube channel, first off, don't expect to get rich unless you work like it's a job. You're hardly going to get, for years, I was lucky to get $100 check once a year. Okay. Every once in a while, we have over 6,000 people in our YouTube membership now. I could grow that, but I don't work it hard. And part of that is because I could use some help, because I'm challenged when I'm so alone. Uh, I have great ideas. I'm a great problem solver, but I'm just one of those creative people. And you know how sometimes us creative people, we have lots and lots of great ideas, but the follow through, I don't think I'm ADHD or ADD, but who knows, right? And so follow through sometimes can be a little thing, and it can be like I have my hands in too many things or too many hats I'm wearing or whatever. And with this new little thing behind me that we're going to talk about soon, um, I realized, and over the summer, I've had a lot of interaction with other people, and it's been good for me. Okay. I practiced being alone for so many years. I learned when I was young how to run away from home because home didn't feel safe for me. I am not saying anything about my actual birth family. Okay. I'm just saying, I wanted to run away from home when I was 5. I packed a bag and I was out of there. But it didn't work. And my older sister was going to go with me and she chickened out. And so uh, everybody's experience in any situation is different from someone else's because of the way we individually process whatever we're going through. And so, hi, Simply You Journey. Who are you? Or simply, yeah, it's simply me, not simply my journey. It's simply me journey. Okay. So yeah, I brushed my teeth, got all ready, and then decided I wanted one more cup of coffee. I am on a carnivore diet. I do still, well, I have returned to coffee. I cannot do commercial decaf coffee at all. like put me in some really weird space, which was really bad for me. My goal is, and you'll see it in any of my descriptions under my videos, it's $25 for, you know, I don't know if it's 12 ounces or a pound. I haven't bought it yet, but that's my goal. And I've had, because it's mold free. And I do have, okay, so I am a member on Facebook in some of the off grid things, some bushcraft things, Kelly Kettle things, these are groups, St. John's groups, and carnivore and mold avoidance. I am in some of these groups. So you can find me in some of those places. Oh, thank you, Joanne. I show better on your iPhone than the Roku TV. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. RV living with the geezer. Hey, guys. Um, I don't know why that is, unless I just don't look good blown up, huge and big. I don't have any idea. I've only seen myself on somebody's big screen a couple of times, and I was like, oh, crap. You can see every wrinkle. Oh, well, I've had a life, so I get to have wrinkles. And so I get to have some white hair and whatever else. What I really, it's who I am. I'm a pretty natural person. Been gone a while. Are you back at the cabin? Yes. Can you tell by the walls? Yes. And I did make the bed this morning, but we have something to talk about right there. And anybody who's in my Facebook group already knows about this right there, because I told you there first. I need to decide what I'm doing with my Blogspot thing, because I noticed that Google AdSense is paying me for people going out there, and I haven't written a blog post in a long time. I need to catch up with my friend who graciously built me my website, the SimplyLesa.com, because that needs work. And I've never gotten into working on it myself. And I used to do websites. It's not like I couldn't, but whatever. I'm trying right now to kind of pull things together here at the cabin for comfort. And because when I got back this time, I have a different mental stability relationship, different confidence in me and my own decisions than I had in past years. It is getting freaking hot in here. I may have to open a window. That's what wood stoves do. Let's see, I'll turn it around again. Wood stove's running just fine, but it's almost 80 and I'm sweating. So with kind of some of those things being said, and I'm talking about a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with the Chevy trackers for you Chevy tracker people. The zoo. Jumping from one thing to another. The Zooks of Arizona, guys. I love the heck out of them. I went to Zuki Palooza this past fall I forgot when Zuki Palooza was, but I did go. Love those guys. And then afterwards was when I did Overland Expo in Flagstaff. That went well. Then I had to come back to the cabin. Then I left again. And that's when the car broke down in Nevada. So I never got to Oregon's Overland Expo. So why was I telling you all that? Oh, yeah, distracted. Because Zuki Palooza, those guys are all down in, is it Superstition? They're down at the Superstition Mountains this weekend. And they're doing a bunch of trail rides together. And I wanted to go so bad, but I'm not ready. My vehicles are not ready. And financially, it doesn't make sense for me to do it yet. Now, I realized recently, after returning to the cabin, and I returned in a major snowstorm that dumped 5 to 6 inches. I overnighted in Belmont outside Flagstaff, thought I was going to miss the storm, and Arizona. Uh, Superstition Mountains in Arizona, which is east of Phoenix, kind of near Florence, Arizona, general area. I've been down there before. I have got a whole mess of videos I filmed of the year a couple of years ago. Met a guy who was, a newer nomad who had a side by side and just wanted somebody to ride with him. Had a girlfriend, the girlfriend wasn't interested. And I ended up getting to ride with him in that side by side all over those mountains. Love it. There are places I would take my trackers and places I wouldn't. And so I have tons of that video that has not gotten out yet. Because on that trip, I met him the day that the Cherokee broke down in Payson. And then he was a new enough nomad. He went and tried to set up a charcoal grill in a Walmart parking lot. And I was like, don't do that. And he was like, I can do anything I want to do. I was like, oh, yeah, it's on you, not on me. And of course, management came out and chased him away. And I was like, well, you learned. He goes, I think I better listen to you. Well, then he got down to Yuma. No offense if he comes on, but he got down to Yuma later, months later. And I told him, I'm really allergic to propane. And if you have propane leak, believe me, I'm the canary in the cage. If you are wondering about the propane in your rig and I'm around, have me go check because I can smell it when nobody else can. I am that allergic and I get sick fast. And for me, one of my first reactions, I cough really bad and then I get brain dead. And that's why I don't have propane around me, because when I say I get brain dead or brain fog, it's the kind of thing where I can't think clear enough to shut the freaking thing off. And so it's too dangerous. So he was down in Yuma. I was down there for, I don't know, shopping or getting tires or doing something. And so I visited, and him and his girlfriend and whatever. And I pull into camp and I'm like, propane? And then he invited me to go in the camper and do something. I don't know, help pulling something together for dinner or lunch or something. And I went to the door and I went, oh, no, you got a leak. And he goes, no, I don't. I was like, yeah, you do. Do you know 2 days later, he lost the entire rig. He didn't lose the side-by-side. He was smart. When it started to burn, he was in a group of trees down there near the VFW. He was in the trees. He had just hooked it up to his truck, and the side-by-side was not on the trailer, was not loaded yet. And he pulled the burning rig out of the trees just in time to not catch the whole place on fire. So, but he lost everything. He lost all of his keepsakes from his great-grandparents, everything, except for the side-by-side and the pickup truck. And yes, I helped him get through that. I held his hand while he went through it. His girlfriend was like, I don't know what to do, and walked away for a while, but whatever, he did what he did. But that's, I have stories, people. I tell stories. And I do. I mean, I'm kind of this way around campfires, I think. Yes, sometimes I can talk a lot. But I don't think it's ridiculous. I mean, I have times when I can be quiet too. And come on, all week long, I'm quiet. Mostly. Unless I'm over at the shop, the auto shop, learning how to pull wrenches. Look, is it time to say hi yet? Who's this over here? Is it time to say hi yet? The best that we can with my signal, because my WeBoost's not working the way. Yeah, my WeBoost's not quite working right now. I don't even have it hooked up, and I used to use it all the time. And so, so sometimes here at the cabin, my signal comes and goes. So if you're experiencing issues or the picture's not clear, the best I can do right now is apologize and say, just hang in there. I'll come back. We try to do about an hour, hour and a half. Sometimes it goes over to 2 hours Sundays, and then I'm tired for the rest of the day. So, um, but yeah, I try to give you that much. So if it goes off and you're having trouble, just don't think it's you first. Think it might be me when I'm at the cabin. I'm 5 miles from one cell phone tower that is an excuse me, an unusual brand, Cell One, which most people never heard of, and then I'm 7 miles from a Verizon tower. You can kind of see them, but it's still challenging. Anybody in this area now that can afford Starlink, they're happy as clams. And so if I could afford that with support from people online, eventually I hope to be able to afford that. Then whether the phone gets updated or not, I bet it would be helpful. But we'll just have to see. And I would want to have one that I could move around with, because when I am able to go on trips, I will. I'm considering, though, not being gone so long, or maybe such long distances, unless I have a freaking mechanic with me. Jeremy, you want to go on a trip? No, or somebody you want to go on a trip? Yeah. So, yeah, that breaking down and my okay. So on the Chevy Tracker travel side of things, my first gen white 2-door 98 Chevy Tracker is an automatic with a 1.6 liter engine, 4-wheel drive, 16 valve engine. Is still in Nevada with Boss Custom. Mike Boss, who owns Boss Custom, lives at the shop. He's the only mechanic shop, except for a tire shop that has a contract with a gold mine. He's the only auto mechanic shop within, I think it's 100 miles of anybody. They're northeast of Tonopah. They do now have a posting on Google Maps. If you're in the area, give him some business. Some small jobs would help him. He is a restoration specialist. He's a certified mechanic if that's important to you. To me, it's more important that they actually know what the freak they're doing. But certified is important to some people. He loves restoration projects, and his goal is, oh, okay, got work to do on your Toyota. That's right. Are you are you leaving? Okay. Anyways, so anyway, so the white first gen tracker is still belongs to me. It is in Nevada. Mike is going to work on it. He's going to slow down the pace to fit both my income and his ability to help me with it. He's going to become a sponsor. So he's going to get decals. We together are going to work on his shop decals being on that car eventually. Um, so I'm going to have him do some different things to it than I started out with. But first off, he is rebuilding the new engine we got for it. Then I'm rethinking how I want to travel with that vehicle. That being said, while I was on that Nevada saga, I also, hi, Northern Sparrow. Oh, Mary, that's a great name. I love that name. You flit around. Um, so under the Chevy Tracker Travels, while I was in the Nevada saga, I met one of the neighbors who was a widow. Her husband had a second gen 4-door Chevy Tracker that was beat up, really well used. and run through the mountains a lot. And when I say beat up, and when I use the term hoopty, if you look at the definition of hoopty online, it really was a hoopty car. She offered me his car super cheap because, first off, I knew what a tracker was. Second off, she had had a lot of good memories with the car. Third off, she couldn't stop thinking about her husband when she saw the car. And she was like, I really would like the car to not be in this area in the valley anymore. And if it would help you, I'm willing to take a very small amount of money for it. And so it took me a long time to make the decision, quite a bit of thought process to make the decision about whether I was willing to put money into a different car. And then I thought it out really good. I didn't have a chance to have it looked over before I made the decision. But in the end, I took a deep breath and I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. It's cheaper than the amount of money it would cost for me to have someone bring a trailer from St. John's to get my other rig and take me home. And trying to hitch a ride with Nomad pals that were traveling close by and were willing to come. I've got to in my being radically independent, I feel like I've got to, foot the gas um, and the gas and the food bills for a trip and stuff like that to be responsible. And most of the people who offered to or were wanting to help to come get me to do whatever, they didn't have enough space for me, my refrigerator, a tent. They would have been fine with me in a backpack or me and two small duffel bags or something. But once I had refrigerator, and it's not a big refrigerator. I do you want to see the refrigerator? Let me know if you want to see the refrigerator. I can turn the camera around and show you. But so so it took me quite a while to make the decision because I wanted to make a wise, well thought out decision. It took a lot of time. Talked to Brent and Jeremy a lot. Got Brent, Jeremy, and George and Brent, Jeremy, George, and Mike, and somebody else on the phone together a lot before I made the decision. And then it was like, okay, I'm making the decision now. It will cost me maybe $100 more than the gas to have somebody come one way, and I can get home. And then I can be at home with a vehicle, because if you all remember from past videos, when the Jeep Cherokee died or was way beyond my ability to fix, then I lived here nearly 6 months with no car. And it's hard when you're radically independent to be so dependent on your neighbors for help. And I don't like that because it wears people out too, wears out relationships where you can, I to tell somebody, when you go to town next time, will you not forget me, please? Or can I call an order into Walmart? Will you pick it up? It's when you're radically independent, that really like hurts your brain. And I figured it out the other day that I have not been in a relationship since 2009. Doesn't that make it like 13 years or something? And I'm like, wow, that's a long freaking time. So once I had this new thing come up behind me and we spent a couple of hours together, I realized I need somebody to take care of. That's why this summer worked pretty well. It helped me to have another focus outside of myself, helping the mechanic and his family and finding ways to step in and help people. And so, don't be surprised if someday I decide I want a relationship, because maybe I do. Because maybe I do. And so I've decided to take on a fur child. And it's a rescue. And one of you lovely people out here in YouTube land told me a year ago that you thought I needed a companion dog, and that if I found one, that you would help or pay for the adoption fee within a reasonable amount of money. And oh my goodness, it all came through this week. And so here behind me is my new fur child. And we've only been together a couple of days, um, but it's kind of cool, weird, cool. And of course, she's been stressed out. She was surrendered to a pit bull rescue. And most of you on Facebook know that I am very close friends with Angie Lozano. I never say her name right, but whatever. I think it's a Lozano, who runs Angie's House, which is a homeless shelter for families with their pets in Cottonwood, Arizona. And she also runs a small dog rescue, loves Chihuahuas. She and I became friends over my adopting Ozzy, and she became Ozzy's benefactor and helped me many times with things I couldn't afford to do with Ozzy, who had both health issues. He had a bad heart, and he went blind. And he was very like anxious, and what he was a rascal, a pain in the ass, great dog. I loved him into a good little good job. So, um, so um, when I first was coming home, I texted Angie and her friend Cece, who runs Good Dog. Am I saying it right? Wait a minute. I'm thinking I'm saying the wrong name. Good Dog Rescue? No, Help a Dog Out Rescue in Phoenix, which is a pit bull rescue. So I'm hooking her up with Candy and Rick, who are in New Mexico. They're pit bull lovers, and they're running a food bank now in New Mexico. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Candy and Rick end up doing a pit bull rescue, but whatever. So I told my friends online, a few of them, the people here in St. John's, the Angie and Cece, I told them I was looking for a little after I got home. I'm saying a little for a little fur baby, and that I wanted it under 10 pounds. So, or 10 pounds, Aussie was 11 pounds. So, so that was, I told them, and then two dogs came available, but one was 30 pounds, and knowing that it was a good terrier breed, I figured it would start digging up the yard, and I wasn't sure I could deal with the digging. So I was like, okay, let me think about this. And then this one came up, and Cece and Angie both said she's calm, she loves other animals. I think you'll be okay with this one. And so I said, all right, well, let's see what happens. And she drove her up the other day, and we met at Stan's shop in St. John's, and brought her home. So how? She loves me for a minute. There, we're back. We're back. So I'm going to go back up a little and see some of these things. I saw Jeremy was talking a lot. Oh, I see Betty Joe was talking about her reboost. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I thought things were where my location too, and it wasn't. So let me go back up. Okay, because I saw some of those. Yes, that blue vehicle is rough. This is Jeremy, more or less. Needs a lot of work. We got it. Right, exactly. And how cool that when I got to Stan's shop, he has gotten a parts vehicle. By the way, for any Zuki people out here, that parts vehicle runs and goes down the road. The engine works just fine in that one, but it was a two-wheel drive. yeah, two-wheel drive, four-door. And so he has parts. I have picked a few parts off of it myself and learned how to put them on. And thank you so much, Jeremy and Sam from the shop, for being the kind of guys that don't mind me borrowing a tool and learning how myself, or showing me this is what you do and this is how it comes off. And then helping me when I get to a spot where, like, I replaced the airbag in the steering wheel on mine with Jeremy's help. And I didn't even know how those came on and off. Why would I know? And so, how cool is it? I know how that works now. And I needed his help to get the last, I guess you'd call it, bolt in, because it was, it wasn't catching good or whatever. And to not have, yeah. So it's so cool to start to do things like that. For some reason, the fact that this car wasn't a brand new one, and if that widow is out here watching and hearing this, I want her to know how much I appreciate it, but I appreciate it maybe for different reasons than an average person would. And one thing I'm really loving about it is the fact that it wasn't in such great shape, that I've got to learn more. And I've been able, about mechanics, and I've been able to help the guys and actually do some of the wrenching myself. On some of the other vehicles I've had, I didn't want them messed up so bad that I wouldn't touch them. And back then, I wouldn't trust myself that if I torqued a bolt, that it would be tight enough. It's like with changing tires. I'm so scared that I don't know what I'm doing, that I don't trust that when I torque a tire down, that it won't come off going down the road. So then I'm worried about it. And so having the opportunity to learn this on a vehicle that isn't in super great shape, but how else could I have gotten one for as cheap as I got this one? Yeah, I got money in it. Yeah, it took my emergency fund. It took the money that I was going to use for paying the machine shop for my white engine rebuild. But the honest truth there is that because of where Round Mountain is and Boss Customs is as far as location, he's not going to be able to get that thing 4 hours away, probably to Reno or Vegas, to a machine shop. He's not going to be able to do that until spring, because his cars are down. He only has one engine lift. He's a one-man shop. He had 7 cars in there all the time. And so it was like and parts were coming in broken or wrong, and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be spring before that engine even gets to a machine shop. That helps me financially because it gives me more time to make sure this one's running good and to save money. So my job is to make sure that I'm saving everything I can save. And so that's another reason for staying home, on top of the fact that I don't want to get stuck far away from my really good Zuki mechanics here in St. John's. And any Zuki people that are watching are Suzuki people, sidekicks, trackers, whatever. There's a lot of them here in the St. John's area. But Stan and his mechanics, Jeremy, Sam's learning, I'm learning, and his son, Stan Lee, who has a tow truck service, they love their Suzukis and they know them well. And so you need parts, you need stuff. They know what they're doing there. So, okay. I'm so happy for you. 4-legged kiddo. Yes, you need a tissue. How come I can't see far? Oh, here we go. Oh, how sweet. Lost signal. Yep, but I'm back. You've had your little dog for 13 years. Yep. Okay, so I'm about to hold her up because while we were offline there, I went and got her. Tell them about the back window? Oh, I will tell them about the back window. Okay, that's a true blessing. I learn better with hands-on as well. Me too. I'm glad I'm safely back home as well. Gotta tell you, I missed the family and Mike and Alice and the 11-year-old butthead Bruce and Sam, the wife. I do miss them. And their dog, um, Odin, and they got a new cat just before I left, which was a little hard for me sleeping in the house because it was so cold. But their cat, they named Raw. Oh, what a mouser they got. And he is part Maine Coon. So, okay. So this, you want to meet the people on the video? This is Miss Wendy. And she's looking out the window behind me. I just found out this morning that Miss Wendy likes birds. She saw birds in the sky and just wanted to chase them. I don't think I want to have multiple pets, but she's the kind of, hi, sweetie. She's the kind of dog that could be around other dogs. So she was raised around, hi, baby. She kisses me a lot. She was raised around cats and dogs and big dogs, like a Great Dane. So she's supposed to be really good around other animals. One little glitch. So any of you who are loving dog rescues and stuff, if you want to help dog rescues out, I have a great idea. I would like to do this myself as I can afford it. But we need to make little baggies to go home with the new dog when you're rescuing a dog. Because she didn't come with a collar or a leash or a harness. And then when I said something about, do you have dog food for a couple of days or at least one night so it's something she's familiar with, they gave me like a 25-pound bag of food. But no harness, no leash, no whatever. Now, I found a leash right away, not a problem. Went to all the stores in St. John's, there's no harnesses to fit her. Now, luckily, we went to the farmer's market yesterday. Yes, we did. And luckily, somebody there has, unfortunately, some friends have passed away. But one of them used to have chihuahuas. And so there's evidently coats and sweaters and sweatshirts and harnesses and things. So I'll be catching up with those people during this week to try to get something. But all I could get was a cat collar to fit her. And cat collars are made for breakaway. So the first time she went to pull against the leash, she's just running loose. It's a good thing she knows the word come. I'm not sure she really knows her name yet. And one of the guys had 2 dog shirts at farmer's market, and this shirt is way too big. I have a little sewing machine. I'll fix it, but she had to have something for a minute. She has already gotten outside of my yard fence. I don't know how many times. There's coyotes. I probably have a wolf here. There's birds of prey, owls at night, hawks. But she fast, and she did listen. So, yeah, I think when dogs are being rescued, that just like for homeless shelter people, perhaps we should have a little, gallon Ziploc bag with 2 puppy pads for the first couple of nights, a small fleece piece of blankie to lay on, right? A day's worth of food or a dog treat, um, perhaps a size appropriate harness or throwaway leash. Like vets have leashes that are like super lightweight and they're inexpensive, so they can just give them away. And I think that it's a great idea for somebody to make baggies like that for rescues to be able to give to people when they go home. And so if they were sized in, extra small, small, large, extra large. I think it's something somebody could do. I wouldn't mind doing some of that myself to help out. I just, I'm still finagling things, but, um, and yes, clean things thoroughly. Absolutely. This shirt was brand new. The stuff I get will get cleaned, um, because, we need to do that. Yeah, I agree with that, Jeremy. Jeremy saying, for those of you who can't see the chats when you rewatch this, and Jeremy saying, and don't forget, if you have these kinds of items, don't hesitate to donate them to the local charities to help those pups yet to be adopted. I totally agree. But yes, designate whether they're new or they need to be cleaned so that the rescues can work with that as well. I don't mind when somebody donates something to me and says, "Hey, you're going to have to wash this." I don't mind that when that happens, but I'm radically independent, and it's something I've worked on learning how to do. Uh, so this is her, Herbie. Let's see. They told me that Miss Wendy, we could take her sweater off so you could see her. They told me that Miss Wendy was Shih Tzu, Chihuahua, Min Pin mix. Shih Tzu makes the hair um, hypoallergenic for me. I don't seem to be, yeah, the goodie bags, yeah. So I don't seem to be allergic to her, which is a big piece of things. Y'all remember when I tried to have that other dog and I was allergic, and then I sent him home and he died of parvo real shortly after that. That was hard. So she's Wendy is chipped. Always a good girl. She's chipped. She has been neutered. She has been, or spayed. I don't know which one's for girls, and she has been through all the vaccines, all the health checks and everything. She's supposed to be just fine, and so she loves being out in the yard. I just figured out I need to, when I go to Dollar General again, I'll get the small balls. She wants toys. So I threw together, can you see that blue thing on the bed behind me? I knotted up a scarf thing I had for her to have a toy, because I didn't know what she was going to be like at all. And of course, when I first got her, she was scared and nervous. She loves the car because that's where she went first. She spent quite a bit of time in the car first. And then I found out she'll hop up on the bed. She'll hop up, well, lawn chairs, most small dogs don't want to hop up in a lawn chair anyways. But once she got out in the yard, she wants to play. Play, 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 play. She's a good girl. But she can get out my fence. So now I'm going to have to take, I haven't figured out if she can get out the new fence or if it's only the old fence. But I'm going to have to take chicken wire and go like 15 inches all the way around all my yard fence so she can't get out. Because I have some serious animals up here. I got some pretty wild animals, and I would feel horrible if something happened to her. Um, and yet I know it's not my fault. I'll do my best. So I might have had a problem with that dog because of the parvo and not been aware. You are absolutely correct, Jeremy. And I have no idea. So I am teaching her the boundaries of the yard. First thing in the morning, even if I sleep in my shorts pajamas instead of my long pants pajamas, um, I take her out. Even if I'm in flip flops and it's snowy and cold, I take her out and walk around the yard fence together. I praise her when she pees, and when she poops. She finally went poop. She loves the way I feed her, but I'm a carnivore diet right now. Some of you know I started out lion diet nearly a year ago. It is helping me with my health issues. And I treat my pets well with food because I know that the better your food, the less you need vets and medicine. And so I feel that way. So she's already had raw or cooked hamburger. She's had canned corned beef because I've been doing, it's inexpensive, it keeps well, canned corned beef and eggs for breakfast. And then for lunch, dinner, however I'm feeling, I'm having hamburgers. And wow, what a change down at Wilbur's IGA. Okay, they don't call it Wilbur's anymore, but the IGA in St. John's. What a lovely change out there. Lots more supply on the shelves, and they have the bags of hamburgers that are 100% 80/20, that are like easy for me to cook. Not that anything else isn't easy. I'm just saying it makes it so simple. I can just stick something in a pan with a little water, or however I want it, on the wood stove when I'm doing something else, and then come back and it'll slow cook or be cooked. So she is a year and a half old, and she's a good girl. Aren't you a good girl? Get your toy. You want to get your toy? Good girl. Good girl. That's a good girl. Do you want to play? You want to play? Um, yeah, she has been sleeping with me. It's been pretty cold at night. I think yesterday I saw 8 degrees on my outdoor thermometer, but that was like nighttime. We're starting to get a routine and uh, we're starting to begin to have a routine, and she's starting to understand what's hers, and that I don't want her to go to the bathroom in the house and stuff like that. Um, I heard her voice for the first time over at the farmer's market. She will bark, but not at much. She listens. Pardon my, pardon me. She listened. We were going near cattle the other night, coming home in the dark, and she started to growl and whatever, and I just did the. Do you guys know the thing? I learned that in Central America in indigenous villages, and I did. She just stopped. I saw her. I saw her just watching from the back seat, and so yeah, she pays attention to that. I want her to do that. Um, I need to teach her leave it, because who knows if a snake ever shows up or something. She needs to get away from. But a halter will help, and it's very possible that Carrie, whose husband passed recently, it's possible that she has some in storage she's going to hunt. And Jim from Farmers Market, who sells electronics, barbecue sauce, and military based, he was military based, like emblems and medallions and things like that. He gave her the little flannel shirt, this little red flannel shirt. And we knew it was too big, but it was cold. And it was windy while we were at farmer's market. And I had her partially inside my jacket, and she just kept trying to scoot back and back and back. And she was like starting to fall down my backside. So, but we were messing around with that, weren't you? I'm talking about you. Yep. So, so he was like, yeah, take that. He goes, don't. I was like, I'll get you some money for it. He was like, no, take it. And so they're all so glad that there's a lot of dog lovers out here where I live. And there's a rescue out here, and the supportive people. I'm trying to keep my eyes out of the sunshine so I can read your comments. So I gave you her age. Does she sleep with me? She does currently. What I think I want to do is I want to get Hi, sweetie. I want to get like a small pet hammock that can hang underneath my lawn chairs for when we're around campfires. And then to go with that, I want to get some kind of carrier thing that's small, that's like travel appropriate, that could easily fit in the car, but could serve as her bed at home. You know, I want things to be double and triple duty. Um, and to have that be, do you need to go out? You want to go out? Come here. I'll put you out. Guys, I have to adjust. Let's see. I hope you can still hear me some. Okay, come here. Oh, you got my here, you want to go outside for a while? Go outside. What a good girl. Hang on, I'll get the camera. I want to get the let's see, how do I pull you off? Whoops, my hand's going to be in front of something to pull you off, I think. But you're going to see strange things for a minute. There we go. So we'll go outside with her because I don't want to leave her out there by herself. I forgot what I was talking about. Look at who's at the center of my world all of a sudden. Doesn't take long to changes. Oh, I think I need to put my sleeves down. Who are you? You want to run? Look at you run. Look at you run. She's a runner. Oh my goodness. She's just the right size for this yard, but she can get out through the holes in the fence. So I gotta work on that. Don't you try to go after that raven. That raven will pick you up and take you. Yes, she will. What is this? Where did this go? Oh, good girl. Good girl. That's right. You do your pees and your poops out here. Good girl. Then I'll have to clean the yard, which we don't care. That's right. What a good girl. Run and play. Run and play. The sun shines out. So, I don't know what I was talking about. Are you guys asking me questions? So I want to have a bed for her that is a like a travel pack of some kind. Maybe it could be one that's a backpack. No! Oh, here she goes again. See? There's too many holes in the fence. Come, Wendy, come. Come quick. Quick, quick. Oh, poop. Can you see her on the wrong side of the fence? Wendy, come. We are gonna have. Come here. Oh, you like trash. Wendy, no, come. I can't get over there fast. Let's. Okay. Go. Y'all, what an adventure we're gonna have this morning on the phone, huh? Oops, how did I do this? I had this so well put together. You can't see what I'm doing. This gate thing is not even fixed right, but I made it so that the coyotes couldn't get in. Okay, some snow. I still have snow at my place, people. Wendy, come. Come. If you want that, bring it in. Do not come out here after crap. Where did this stuff come from? I don't have stuff like this in my yard. Where did this stuff come from? Okay. I don't have that many neighbors either, so maybe this is old stuff from way back when. This, I have to move this compost pile. It was, oh, what are you in? Bring it in, bring it in. Come, bring it. Come on, here. Let me have it. We'll take it together. Come on, come. You want that bad? I don't want you coming out here. Oh, y'all, isn't this fun? See my wood pile? I need to split that wood really badly. Okay, come on, in. Up here. Come in, come this way. Better. Because I fixed it so the coyotes wouldn't come in. And I did a good job for that. but it also is not. Wendy, come! Did it again. Oh boy. Wendy, come! Oh, all right. Come! Hurry! Quick, quick! Come! Hurry! Quick, quick! Wendy, where are you? Come on! Hurry up! Hurry up! Come on! She goes, I can't get in now. Okay, here. Whoops. I did. I fixed this one so it wouldn't come open in the night. All my gates need a little bit of help. It's stuck. Nope, I got it stuck. Come to the front door. Come to the front door. Oh, good Lord. Y'all getting to chase a dog with me. How fun is this? Talk about real life. There she goes. She goes, I know what the front door is. Okay, whew. All right. So I'm trying to clean up this pile and organize it. I feel like my house is messy. All right. Might have a couple of those travel things for her, as small as she is. Going to check with Mama. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Kate, my boys will love your pop-up. We hope to have play date in the future. Okay. Oh my God, the fun of breaking in a new dog. Signal's breaking up bad. Yeah. Sorry about the signal glitch. I'm back inside, okay? Yeah, the fun of breaking in a new dog who already figured out that there's a lot of places to run and there's things to chase. And then this morning she saw a raven and went, oh, chase that. That's fun. Oh my God, oh, good Lord. So, so yeah, I have some work to do. And we're good. We're good. I'm sorry the phone broke up so bad for y'all. And how much fun is it to chase around a dog? Whatever. Yeah, so I want her to not like sleep in the bed with me 24/7. Last night there was a time when she got up. You want me to move that so you can see out the window? Here. Um y'all, some of you all know I lived in Virginia a long time. Some of y'all know that I have MS. I have this. Oh, you can't see that. Oh, and now I'm holding the camera weird. Okay. All right. So I have this thing. This is a balance board. I had one of these in Costa Rica and I love the heck out of it. They're super cheap. And so I use that thing often because balance is a thing with it's a thing with people who have MS. Now you can see out the window. Here, come here. Come look. Come look. Look, you can see out the window. Where are you? Wendy, come. Come here. Come here. She's a good girl. You did okay. You did okay. We'll get it. We'll get it. You'll understand. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. You're doing a good job. Okay, hand in front of the camera. That wasn't very nice. So yeah, of course, I feed her well, treat her well. She is loving that those windows are low because she can put her front paws right up there and look out the window and see all kinds of things. It's kind of nice. All right. Whew. So I'm sorry about that signal mess outside, whatever. So there she is, back up where it's nice and warm on the end of the bed, wood stoves close by. Yeah. So it's gonna be fine. I gotta put some chicken wire around the bottom of the fence so she can't sneak out. There's a couple of spots where I was changing the fencing last year and I didn't get finished with that job. And while I was working on it, there's a couple of technically I'd say breaks in the fence where I just never finished turning a corner or deciding exactly where I wanted another gate, things of that nature. So It's still warm in here. I must be getting dehydrated. My lips keep being dry. I see it when I look at the phone. So just a bird, right? Right. Oh, and with all the snow and then mud and rain and whatever, it's muddy up here. I have swept probably 3 times a day, been sweeping the floor in this little tiny cabin. But that's kind of what happens because you can't help but get mud in, and you got to wait for the mud to dry before you can sweep up the dirt. So that's what's been happening. What a good girl. Look at you. She goes, I'm bored right now. That's all right. When I go back down to St. John's, Dollar General has these little tiny tennis balls for dogs. I will buy a bag of those unless somebody gets them for me, before I get them. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to get some of those little balls for her because I think she's that kind of dog. And I'll work on that chicken wire thing this afternoon, and because I got to start that. But there's a break in the fence over near the shower house, the bathhouse. And so I gotta kind of fix that too. So I don't know which project is coming up first, but got to do those things. And she will bark from outside the door because a couple of times I let her be outside for a minute while I was like tending to the fire or something, and she barked to have me let her in. Like, how come he didn't take me in? And I'd be like, oh, I'm running out the front to grab blah blah blah. You're in the back. You stay back there for a few minutes. But that her getting up the fence makes me nervous with so many wild animals. So fencing will become top priority. Well, I say that. No, top priority is the freaking rats that have dug under the house. That's real. The war with the rats is back on. I have had it so good for, I just put a hole in my pants. I have had it so good for, I don't know, 5 years or so that I had them all under control, away from the house. Made a couple of mistakes in this area because I have so many trees and some other things. Yes. And the bucket, so Jeremy's asking, and the bucket with water is freezing. Absolutely. The bucket traps that work so well with peanut butter and whatever, they're frozen. And so, unless I get one on a warm day, that's not happening. So, I need to check with my neighbor and see if he still has any traps left or they all just got pulled away. Because sometimes when you're trapping rats in this area, if you haven't wired the trap to a tree or something, either the rats or the coyotes that come after the rat bodies just take them and take them away. So I have to find out. I gave all my traps to the neighbor because I wasn't having any problem. And at the time I had cats. And then my cat moved down to their house. And so, I need the traps back. But I asked him to put the traps down before they dug under the house. Then they dug under the house. And I heard some chewing one night. I've heard some weird flopping around other nights. And I can't tell where they're at now. And I burned a brush pile, so I've got them moving around, and that's problematic too. So soon, there's these twin guys on YouTube that do handyman and pest control, but rats is their specialty in LA. I love watching their stuff. I mean, I don't sit around just watching videos, but when I do the research and I'm learning how to do things, And they do things kind of the way I do. So I did see an owl again. I used to have an owl who lived right here. And so that's great, but now I've got the little dog, so I gotta be careful with all of this. Um, oh yeah, pallets are okay. So one of the first years I was here, I was trying to do pallets and compost piles, and guess what? Pallets are a snake trap, and I don't need rattlesnakes. I don't mind rat snake, gopher snake, whatever you want to call them, but I ain't doing rattlesnakes. And I'm sure they're here. I have found skins where they molt underneath my wood pile. So that's why the wood pile's a long ways from the house. I'll walk for my wood rather than have the rats and the snakes here. But once they got under the house, now I got a challenge because how do I get them out? And I thought about smoking them out. If I had a smoker like you use for honeybees or something, at least I could see. But I know where they're coming in. There's one hole. So the deal is I need to maybe block that up to where they get hungry. And then make sure I got the right kind of traps. And then open it up again after a week or so. And so starve them to where they come to the trap for the food. It's probably what I've got to do. And then, dispose of the bodies over where the ravens or the coyotes or somebody will eat them. And then continue to do this cleanup I'm doing. I kind of made a couple of mistakes in the last couple of years. I was trying out straw bale gardening, and because I've always gardened and stuff, and Hugo firs and stuff like that. Well, and my compost piles, insulating them with straw and stuff like that. It works. It works like the gangbusters. But I put it too close to the cabin. And so, especially that Hugo fir and the brush pile that I did finally burn, the rabbits and the rats were kind of happy in those because they're protected. Well, and surprise, surprise, I've got quail again. So all those animals were happy having that brush cover, but it made it too easy for the rats to come from further away to get closer. And then I moved some cement blocks and was gifting them to a neighbor. And I thought the neighbor was coming after them right after I left. They didn't come get them. And so the rats moved into the block. There were a few pieces of plywood that I was I didn't really want to give away plywood, but I was like, you know what? If you're going to use it, get it out of here because I don't want the rats living here. So I don't want that stuff. And it all ended up sitting here while I've been broken down that whole 5 or 6 months, whatever it was. And so the rats moved into that stuff. And so now I'm starting to clean that up, starting to figure out how to get rid of that stuff again so that they'll move further away from the house. Part of that is if you feed birds, the rats will come to that as well. Well, the other thing I've learned over the years is feed the birds away from the house. And it will draw the rats over where the birds are being fed. Or where your compost pile is away. And so that's the plan so I've already started a couple of trees that I wanted to trim for my driveway and stuff like that. And the juniper berries have been crazy productive this year. Well, on a couple of they're beautiful right now. I'll save a few for medicine. But so I've started to take things that would have gone in a brush pile and put them closer to my fence line. Now I got to be careful too, because I don't want my fence line to then be a fire hazard. But for now, I'll put them closer to the fence line near where the water runoff goes so that I can start to almost Hugo fir, swale, an area to protect that I'm not losing so much silt from off the top of this hill. So, but these are some mistakes I made. Um, it was just like that mistake I made trying to have a larger yard, thinking I wanted a larger yard back when I was trying to do chickens and stuff like that. And it was the wrong breed of chickens, the wrong, I was thinking one thing, the people who gave me something was thinking something else. And I didn't understand those female chickens, which those Egyptian females are great if you're willing to just let them be wild in your neighborhood. And then, because they'll live all by themselves and forage, they don't lay a ton of eggs. But when you're ready to eat a chicken, you just go shoot one. And they're the kind of chickens that the Cajun people have down in the swamps and stuff. And so if you're in a wild area and you want to have them as wild game birds, that's a great breed to have. I just couldn't afford the fact that they were trying to fly at the windows here. I can't I can't afford to replace a window. So I sent them to somebody else's farm. It's all good. But at that time I tried to take a larger piece of my yard and I moved the fence further out. That was a mistake as well because I got too close to the game trail, which changed the elk's reaction. And so now I changed that back before I left, and it's much better. So now I just got to adjust that fence and fix it for Miss Wendy. The dog's name is Wendy. So I got to fix it so she can't get out. And then just, I needed more projects. It's okay. So now I have things to do, don't I, girl? What a what a pretty girl. She's so alert. And her little ears stick up, which might be the min pin part. But her wiry hair, I still think she's got a little Yorkie in her when I hear her bark. But it doesn't matter. As long as I'm not allergic and and she's calm, so she'll be and she gets along with other yeah, she gets along with other animals, so that's going to be all good. I think she misses having other animals around from the looks of it, but whatever, we'll deal. I'm not into having a whole bunch of dogs. That's not kind of my style. We'll see what happens. So, you harvest them. What was this? And uh, and the big thing out here, like for my family, we do not use poison because we don't want the wildlife getting sick from the poison. Exactly. Me either. Me either. Yeah. Now, I don't mind putting baking soda and flour and sugar together or something because rats can't burp. I don't mind doing that. Um, and then Jeremy's saying, oh, the other one that will work is plaster of Paris. Um, and flour, right? Or plaster of Paris and peanut butter. I forgot because it just once it gets in their system, they dehydrate and it becomes a rock and they can't move, and so they die that way too. Which it's not very pretty, but it works. Um, and those do work well. And I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about blocking the access, getting the stuff for the poison when I come in town this week, and then okay, Mary, that's fine too. That's fine. Um, and then like giving it a week that if they're under the house, that they're down there with no food for a week. And then put that kind of poison just outside. And I'm saying poison, the baking soda, flour, and sugar just outside. So they have to go to it. Okay. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking of doing is starve them for a good week, then put that out so they'll go to it, then they'll die, and hopefully they won't die inside underneath the house, because if they do die under the house, then I figure that's about 3 weeks of a horrible smell until it's done. Hi, little girl. Where's your toy? Get your toy. Get your toy. She doesn't know that toy yet. Uh, yeah, cornbread mix, but I'm not doing that. It's um, cornbread mix. The only reason people use it is, oh yes, they play with the toy. The only reason people use the cornbread mix is because it has flour and sugar in it. So, if I can find flour and sugar and it's cheap, and of course I can. Even if I ask them, what a good girl is it wanting to play? Oh, what a good girl. Do you do tug of war play? No? Here you go. She's the she that they have started nesting underneath the cabin. I only heard a little bit of chewing. I hope it's not a problem. I just have to be okay with whatever's happened so far and do my best. Sometimes deep breath, moving right along. Um, this girl wants a toy, but when I tried to change the phone around, I lost signal. So yeah, the powder mixture seems to, especially when you find them around the driveway away from the nest. Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah. So with the rats is really my first priority, but now right up there on equal level is making sure the fence is more safe for her to be out in the yard. And so I've got to make sure it's completed over by the shower house, bathhouse, and that hey, don't chew on that, please. That's my backpack. Hey, you. And that she can't get out the slats in the fence. Oh, did I see that somebody asked me about the slats in the fence? Oh, what kind of fence do you put up? Well, here, it was Kate that asked that. Here, I chose a long time ago, while I was hunting for fencing that one I could afford to would keep. Ozzy, who was an 11-pound Yorkie mix, um, safe from the coyotes, and would protect my lawn chairs and stuff and tents and whatever from the, the free range cattle. So a while back, I was able to get 50-foot rolls of sand and snow fence from Tractor Supply. They were $45. They're not anymore. But I could handle that size package, getting it in and out of a vehicle. I could get it here and maneuver it by myself. I can put T-posts in the ground just fine. I can't pull it as tight as I would like to. I don't have that tool. But I could use electrician's pliers to twist it, which I already owned. And so, hey, you don't be chewing on that. That's important. Please don't chew on that. Where's your toy? Oh, yeah, we got to get some toys and some chewies. You need a chewy, huh? That's okay. I'm glad you're more comfortable. Let me turn it so you can see her as long as I don't ruin the connection. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I started with that because I could maneuver it. And then I found that I really liked that it was working. And the first batch I got actually was somebody's old goat fence that was all torn up. And so that's what I had first. Because once I found out it was $45, I don't know, I couldn't afford it at the time. And so then I started buying some new pieces, and I was really happy that I could afford it. So I think it was after COVID when I came home one winter, and there was one section of my fence that was always blowing down in the wind. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some more of the new fencing and start to replace that old painted white stuff that used to be the old goat fence. Well, then I couldn't freaking afford the fencing. I was gonna like replace it all last winter and either take the old white fencing and make it my new compost piles or something. But oh, thank you, Chelsea. I just saw your note. Chelsea says, "So good to see you in your cabin. Loving the new adventure partner. Thank you." Yeah, we still have adjustments. She needs some toys now. She's trying to chew. She's pulling at things. She getting comfortable. Yeah, what's going on, you? Anyway, so that was my first fencing, and it's still my preferred. But the last time I checked on how much it cost, I need to check again. The last time I checked, it was like $79 for a roll. I was like, oh, now I have to plan different. I can't just go grab a roll 1 month and do a section. So now I have to, at $79, I have to plan better than at 45. 45 wouldn't have hurt so bad in a month. So that's that. So what did I miss, Donna? Um, the coffee's cold. I do not like cold coffee. Um, yeah. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else right now. I answered that. No, the floor does not have splinters. The Unfortunately, I bought that expensive snap together wood look vinyl flooring. An awful, oh, I didn't miss that. Okay. That started this morning. I do not know what's going on yet. I will talk to the rescue people as soon as possible because I want to make sure she's been wormed and stuff. I saw that sledding. That's a good tactful term. So yeah, I didn't miss it, but I wasn't trying to make a comment about it either. Um, so yeah, I would like to eventually have all the fencing replaced with the new, all that old white painted. I would love to have it replaced with a new. It's a good look along with the paint job that I did on the cabin. And I need to get more paint because the bathhouse needs painting and so does the greenhouse and or the garden room. I should call it a garden room because it's not a true greenhouse. But here you need to protect this. There's so many hungry wild animals and bugs in this part of Northern Virginia, Northeast Virginia. I mean, Arizona, not Virginia. Um, there's so many hungry animals and bugs, and the weather is extreme. And so the wind, the sun in the summer, the cold in the winter. We've got 5 seasons, 5 seasons, 4 seasons, and I need to have any gardening I'm doing of herbs and whatever. It's got to be covered. It's got to be protected. And so that garden room is lovely. I've thought about putting a bathtub in there so that when I could have, and a little tiny wood stove. And so that when I want to, that I could go have a nice hot bath. Kind of would be nice. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but I do want to make sure that it's enough protected so that there aren't any rats getting in there and that the herbs and stuff can grow. I'd like to put a fig tree in there, maybe a miniature one, and um, and just keep the herbs and stuff doing their thing and year round. And then the center of it, it has got on the top has got metal corrugated um, tin roof in the center. And I used to have, I need to get another one, a green grass rug on the floor. It's a good place to go in the monsoon and play cards. It's noisy, but it's a good place to play cards and stuff. And so when we visit, when I have company, it's a good place to visit. So I changed the gate that goes to the driveway so that that gate will be closer to the driveway, so that when I do have company that camps out, they can come and go from that easier. And so I used to have a shower in there once. I'll change my mind as things go on. I would love to get my hands on some scrapped RVs, but good bathtub shower combination thing or shower stall thing for the bathhouse. As much, excuse me, as much as I love what I've done in there, there's just something about going into that either fiberglass or cast iron tub shower space that just feels more finished, normal. I don't know. So I want to do that to the bathhouse so that it just feels different. I don't know what else to say about that. I have plans for my water catchment and summer hot water. I have plans for that. Winter hot water, not I don't have plans the same. But like I said, I use the same stuff on the road that I use here at home. So the Kelly kettle and the water port makes a really lovely shower. It's about 4 gallons. It works well. It pumps up, has a sprayer, works well. But yeah. Okay, so I've talked about that. I don't know. Good old fashioned white picket fence. Yeah, more or less. Yeah. Yeah, I know fiberglass doesn't hold up to the extreme temperatures and stuff like that. But the part I want is a finished, more commercial style finished shower bath space. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be cheap to free. Um, I, come here, come here. I have had a, what's it called? A rubber tub, one of the newer wash tub style things, um, because I had a metal wash tub that Shane gave me. I can't remember where that went or who took that. Why did they take that? Did they talk me out of it or did they just take it and I was upset about it? I don't know, but my metal wash tub's not here anymore. I don't know why. So then I remember trying to go get a metal wash tub and I couldn't afford it. But I could afford this oval rubberized farm from Tractor Supply farm wash tub thing. But it's not big enough. And so if I could get a larger thing like that, that I could put a drain in and it would give us a space to stand when we're doing whatever we're doing. That's the part. I'm going to finish the inside of the bathhouse with paint. You know, I'm going to paint it and make it cheerful in there. I have lights for it, solar lights for it, and stuff like that. I'd love to put an old vintage jalousie window out of an old trailer in there. I would love to do that. Tile would be fine, Jeremy. Tile would be fine. It's a project. If I could get cheap to free tile and it was here, sure, why not? Just, you know, I'm kind of at the stage of I'm also tired of working on crap. I would like to be able to just come back and be able to do what I need to do and take a deep breath and then move on, you know. But and I don't mean move on necessarily in the traveling space way. I just mean and just not feel like I have so much freaking work to do. Just to have some stuff finished would be nice. And I really have the big expensive basic stuff already pulled together. So it's just like finishing up these things. Yeah, they'll take time and they give me something to do. So, I'm not upset about any of it, but I want that more finished space for standing in when I take my bath. Um, I don't know. It's like something I was telling somebody the other day about my beds inside the cabin. And I was rewatching some of my old videos and realized that a lot of the things I have is because I was so stuck on wanting a Jeep. Okay. And so when the minivan died and I went hunting for a vehicle, I was hunting for a Jeep Wrangler and I couldn't afford one. And now I feel like I was stupid for not buying the one that I did find that was like what I really wanted, but whatever. But now that I found trackers, I'm fine with the trackers. So not giving up on the trackers because I can afford them better. But I wanted a Jeep so bad. So when I got the Cherokee, I was like, finally, I'm going to do all the stuff I was going to do on a Wrangler. I'm going to do in this Cherokee. And so I was outfitting it the way I wanted it. And I invested in some things and they work. But once I got the trackers, they were too big for the trackers. So it was like, oh, I got to start all over again. I'm tired of starting over. And like in the cabin, I totally intended to only deal with cots or hammocks in the cabin. Um, because for one, if you have a hammock and the county wants to come, you just unhook it and put it on one hook and it's not a bedroom. What you talking about? Um, okay, and that's not illegal because technically I have a seasonal cabin. So I'm not illegal no matter what I'm doing. But this bed that you have seen behind me here, when the person built it, I had them build it for that mattress because it's what I had. Well, I'm coming back this time and I'm not comfortable. And it's not the mattress's fault. I wish I was hanging in my hammock, to be honest with you. But um but I'm fine. Okay. But when I had him build it, the spaces underneath were supposed to be the right size for the plano storage boxes I already owned. So he built it all right, except for it's an inch too short. So I can't put the boxes under there. And I was going to have one box for kitchen stuff that stays here, one box for clothes, and one box for tools. And that was it. And then I don't need any outdoor storage. There's no need to be worried about the rats getting in something. It's not like that. And then the bathhouse was supposed to be, a comfortable enough shower to go get in whenever you wanted to, and whatever my toilet situation was going to be. Then, of course, the toilet situation changed with the county. And so now I have to pay for my post office box unless I go put in for my free permit for their batch composting system, which I do want to do. But once I do that, then I won't be having that $150 or $200 a year charge for a post office box. So it'll save me money to do that, but I can't quite do it because I know the guy already he told me that I'm kind of pre-approved for the location I want. So I already know that's going to work. But are you guys following my drift here? It's just, I got to pick which things. And I am trying to get to where I'm finishing up some stuff so that when I come home, I can just be here and stop farting around with, oh, I never finished that thing and that's got to be done. And oh, that's got to be done. And oh, the bugs get in because there's a little gap beside the window, And yes, if I would tell the fuel assistance winterizing program people, they would send somebody out to fix it. But I don't know that I want somebody coming out here from some company that's just going to do it their way. You get my drift. Oh, yeah, double and insulated. Oh, yeah, that would be nice. And yes, these things are never ending. And it's not a problem. I'm just saying this is off grid country living. But you know what? If you're in a bigger city and you're used to having neighbors and stuff like that, you've got your own stuff and you are forever buying stuff because somebody else did this or this doesn't work. Or look at the problems, just from me doing research on the rats again and going, okay, what would help me do this, be more successful again? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Block them off, starve them, then give them a little bit of food, they'll die. you know yeah, smart. But I had to do a little research to remember that. And the research I did, those are people who live in LA. And so, it's not just me that has these things. Whatever you're doing, you're going to have something. And if it's not in your vehicle, it might be in your cabin, it might be, on your trip. What did you see? Or are you seeing your reflection in the window? You guys can't see her. I'm so afraid if I turn this around, I'll mess up the connection again. But she's over there on the bed. She's looking out the windows that are on the other side of us. So, and yeah, and Jeremy, I'm reading your comments. Yep, but it never ends. Exactly. And it's the fun of being able to do things and being out in a situation like this. That's true. It really is true. And I love my location. I do love this place. It does it change when the neighbor comes in and they drive a big truck? Yeah, sure. But so what? As long as you're neighborly and you're, good to each other, then that's fun. And you came back after this summer. I wanted to work with all the relationships I already knew I had. And I realized that, I knew that I have a lot of good friends here in the area where I'm at and down in St. John's. And I knew that they often, when I come home, they're like, we wish you'd stay more. We miss when you used to have Passover dinner and cook lamb for all of us and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I want to do. But after this Nevada saga, I want to be able to work with these relationships that I already have. My friends around this area, I want to do more with them. We're all going to die one of these days. I've lost a lot of friends the last couple of years. People who are my age and younger, right? They're Things are changing. And I love the guys down at the shop. I still want to go camping more. I love car camping. I love hammock camping. I love being in a tent. I love cooking on a fire outdoors. I do it at home. And I'm saying home as in at the cabin. It's a dry cabin. I did not put in power and I did not put in piping for water. There's a reason. And the big reason is the rats and the fact that I know I like to go do stuff. And even if I'm going an hour away to just go fishing and spend 2 nights, why not? I would love that. Why not? And then come home. That would be okay with me too. So I think I'm changing up. It doesn't mean I'll never make another trip to like Baja or somewhere. I just may plan it differently. I may just design this different for a while. I don't know. It's been, not being that mechanical, not knowing what to do about what happened with the car and being so far away, people that I know the answer. Did that come out in an English sentence? But that's shown me some things. And then being that close to other people and realizing how much I want to help. And so doing things like helping dig that duck pond for Mike at the shop in Nevada. I remember some days digging and my side my ribs being sore from with my MS. My left side's my weaker side, and so shoveling up high over my shoulder because it was almost as deep as I am tall. So shoveling dirt up kind of this direction and it was making my ribs sore. And I was like, yeah, how, and you're thinking while you're doing these things. And I was like, I wonder how much of this I really want to do for somebody that I don't know. Because after I get my car back, of course, I've become friends with that family. So don't take this the wrong way if you're hearing this, okay? But, at the first, I didn't even know these people. And I'm putting all this energy and stuff into helping them when I wish I was helping people I'm already invested in. It's fine that I have new friends. That's not a problem. I appreciate the adventure that I had this summer. I really do. I'm not mad about it. I'm not disappointed. There's no negative there. But what I'm seeing is I've put a lot of investment in. I put a lot of investment in when blood, sweat, and tears when I lived in Costa Rica. And I was working on the not smart assumption that I was getting a 99-year lease on a piece of land in Costa Rica. And come to find out that Gringa, who was rich from New York and Bahamas, took everything I did and then said to my face, poor people like you need to do things for rich people like me. And so thank you for building me a house and goodbye. And at that point, all I wanted was a hammock and a bottle of wine. And I don't roll like that. Those of you who know me know that's not my normal. But I was like, yeah, don't anybody ask me for anything. I'm not handing you a tissue right now. I'm so discombobulated from that mess. So that took me quite a while to get past that somebody would do that to me. Why would they use me that way, that bad? And I don't know whether I misunderstood something and we can blame me more for it, but why? And so when I put together past experience things from my viewpoint, along with these newer things, and then I realized I want to put that kind of investment into people I know and love, and that love me back, like me back, even because people who have already invested in me. And at one point, I remember digging and saying, I have two children of my own. Why am I not digging something that my own children will someday? But, we're not super, super close there. There we are. Lost you for a minute. So I'm getting tired. Oh, we've been 2 hours. No wonder I'm getting tired. And yeah, let me check. I was going to check you guys' messages and then I couldn't see them. Being able to, it's home. Yeah, I'm building a new relationship with the idea of home. I can say that. Cars, houses, yards, outbuildings, yada, yada. I never can get done with it, and you don't want anybody else messing. Oh, and I don't want anybody messing with my stuff. I feel like that sometimes too, Donna. It's like, well, I could have so and so help me. Yeah, but if they come and then they want to hang out and they'll talk me out of stuff I'm not ready to give up. Nah, let me wait and I'll do it myself. Or, this other one will want to do it this color. Yeah, no, let me wait. So there is that do it myself stuff. Swing a shovel is one of the most physical exercises. Posy encourage all to try, but I don't do it in the snow. Yep. I hear people have had strokes and heart attacks from it. That's true. To heck with the carry-ons of the world. Oh yeah. So I think we're gonna end this. Thank you all for being here, putting up with the fact that sometimes the signal isn't perfect where I'm at. I appreciate. I hope I've given you something to think about today. I feel like we've just visited more than anything else. Um, I do need to just quickly. I do need to go to town this week. I don't know. I I don't know what I need to talk about. Ah, there you go, Iris. Don't bother if you don't want to. Don't bother. I wasn't really totally interested in the snow, but the first time I was here at this property in snow, because I grew up in Maine, it reminded me of my childhood and stuff. And so, like, I made snow angels, and I just went out hiking in the snow, and was amazed at the different ice crystals and how they were different. Hi, Elsa. And so I don't I don't mind that there's snow here. What I do like about the four seasons in this area of Arizona is it's not that harsh. I don't mean it's that easy either, but I've been here when I had to wait 5 weeks to drive out because of messy roads. But because more people are moving into the area, those roads off and on get improved. So, oh, can you even have you been even able? Bleh, bleh, have you even been able to hear that last little bit? But uh, it's beautiful here. It's peaceful. It's very off grid, off grid. They're not planning for this area to ever be on grid. Now, I did just hear this little rumor a birdie flew past and said to me about how closer to the city of St. John's or town of St. John's that there is some solar company that's considering doing a big solar array to provide power to off grid places closer to like the railroad tracks in St. John's. That's an interesting concept that I never thought about happening. So, but I don't expect that to happen in my area anytime soon. I'm only a mile from the Navajo Nation fence line, and the Navajo Nation is taken care of in their populated areas. So I don't see that happen out here. But I love how peaceful it is. And I love that there's wildlife. And, I get annoyed with the butthead neighbors who don't know how to really be neighborly. I get annoyed with people who want to cause drama or who just can't stop running their mouths and listen to me, right? And I get annoyed with the van dwellers that became van lifers and have money and just put people down. I get annoyed with stuff like that. It's probably more ethical than anything. And it's because I do have ethics. I made choices along the way to be who I am. So um, I am going to leave y'all with the thoughts about, being kind to each other with boundaries. So, not blind kindness, but you know, set your boundaries and stick to them. And I'm better at that now than I ever was. I'm more confident in my own ability to make a decision or to do a thing or to think a thing or believe a thing or whatever. And so, build up your confidence as you're able. It will come with time and with experience. Um, but I believe we were asked by the creator to love one another. And I think it's a challenge and it's a learning experience. And so um, pray for each other or whatever you do. I use those terms because I got comfortable with those terms when I was young. And so I don't do a religion. I'm spiritual. I believe. I have beliefs and I stick to them. And it doesn't make me popular, but I don't give a crap anymore. So, yeah, pray for people or whatever you do, especially our group out here. Come back and join us if you would like to. Chevy Tracker Travels will continue. We just don't know what they're going to look like at this point in time. Uh, Even the adventure of going out to go to town can be a real thing here. I have some pictures and stuff. Um, and keep it simple so you can travel light and often, because I think that the coming and going from your norm, which for most people is a home situation, but coming and going from that, all of that is a perspective change. And I think that's where growth comes in, and creativity, and I think we're good for all of that. So changes, including new fur babies and whatever else. And yeah, don't forget to be radically independent. And we could talk about that one day too. Bring your questions back. Mm, Same bat time, same bat channel every Sunday, unless I notify you that we're not going to do it. Sometimes I get tired and I don't want to. And then I remember how much it's nice to visit with for online friends that are like family, that kind of get me and understand and want to be here. So I will see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Ciao.